Hello everyone, welcome to Sleepy Radiology classes and myself Survey here. Today we are with a new session. Do we all know what is MRI coil? Are you all confused with MRI coil? No matter, today's session we will be discussing about MRI coils and we will make it easy for you. So without any further delay, let's move on. What are MRI coils? So what is MRI coil? It is nothing but a certain loop of ring coil wires who are carrying the electrical signal, and these coils will become actively electromagnetic when you run it with an electrical field. So what happens in MRI is we are placing a big magnetic field, then for around 18 to 12 days we pass a huge amount of current, and once we pass a huge amount of current it creates a pole like north pole and south pole. Like as we do for solenoid, we wrap the iron ore and it creates then a pole, north and south pole. So same thing is our MRI coil. So it will be a ring or circular coils, and they are usually made up of copper, and these coils will actively produce electromagnetic wave when an electrical field is passed through it. Next is, what is the purpose of MRI coil? It is nothing, just is allowed to capture a high quality of image with good SNR for studying the better details of pathological structures. So once you are using MRI coil, you have to keep in mind that there are connectors. So once you only connect it to the port, so these are the port areas, then only it will produce your image. So in GE machine we have two port A and port B. Then there, this is the, see, small ones are the channels. So there are totally 32 channels, 1 to 32. So if there is one channel means one image will come. If there is 32 channels means 32 blocks of image, 32 pixel image informations you will get. So always keep in mind 1 to 8 channels will be always placed in port A, and rest 8 to rest 32 will be given to the port B. So check the type of connector. So it's a 4 type, 1 2 3 4 5. So where it will be placed? It will be placed in A port. Some coils doesn't have, but keep in mind that when you're using the connectors it should be placed in exact port. If not, there may be a damage to this rings or connecting um, stripes. So be careful when you are doing this thing in MRI. Next thing is MRI coil types. So basically the coils are of three types. We have the gradient or superconductive coil, who is taking the informations with and creating your signals mainly, and this is the main coil, and it has three gradient X, Y and Z. Next we have the shim coil. Whatever informations are coming, electrical signals are coming, there may be some low signal, high signal, so shim coil will make all the signals uniform, homogeneous. And finally we have the RF coil. It is placed both inside the bore of the magnet as well as outside also, and when it is placed outside in contact to the patient body, it is known as body coil. So in short, all these coils will be shielded together, and where it will be placed? It will be placed in the bore of the magnet. And bore of the magnet, what does it contains? It contains the liquid helium and liquid nitrogen, who maintains the low temperature. If we don't maintain the low temperature, what will happen? It will lose its superconductivity. Okay, and the patient will be going inside the bore of the magnet scanner, so then only it will transmit and receive the signal. If you are placing outside the patient and just on, you have on the machine, so nothing will happen. So to get the signal, what you have to do is you have to place the coil, and that coil should go inside the bore of the magnet. Okay, next thing is we'll move to the gradient type of coil, and that is also called a superconductive coil, and they are of three types. What are they? X gradient, Y gradient and Z gradient. So these gradient coils are mainly what? They are nothing but circular ring of wire or cylindrical shape which lies inside the bore of the magnet. Where gradient coils are found? Just inside the bore of the magnet. Where? Just near to the magnetic field. Where a strong magnetic field, then bore of the magnet, then shim coil, then RF coil. So, and what is this coil? This is the main coil, heart of the MRI machine. Next, how it is made up of? It is made up of fiberglass coated with epoxy resin. Okay. Next is, what is the purpose? When an electrical current is passed through this coil, when you are going to pass current through this coil, it will produce the secondary magnetic field, which will produce resonance. What is resonance? Resonance is like that thing that it will produce or create signal or sound when the external frequency matches with the internal frequency. Like, if I am a student of this college, so I have to show the identity card, then only I will get permission to enter the college. So that's the thing is what resonance means. If your external frequency matches with the internal frequency, then only the protons will create the image, and that image will be captured via the MR gradient coil, and it will produce the image. Next is, what is the main function of the gradient coil? Is just to allow you the spatial codings. How many codings are there? Two types of coding, whether the image is coming from axial section, or whether the image is coming from, sorry, phase encoding means whether the gradient is coming from um, frequency means long FOB, or whether it is coming from short FOB, that is phase encoding, or what will be my size selection, like narrow slice thickness or wide slice thickness. So all these things will be decided with the help of gradient coil, and the main purpose of gradient coil is to give you a better quality of image. So next is, what are the types of gradient coil we have? I already said you is X, Y and Z, and see, these are placed just after the magnetic field. Okay. And these coils are mainly to transmit and receive the signals from various directions. So like, X coil will take the image from sagittal section, Y will take the image from coronal section, and Z will take the image from the axial section. So what is in total, A plus B plus C will give you the entire 3D information. So in MRI we have already noticed that if you want to have a sagittal plane, you have to plan for Y and Z. Okay. If you want to have the image for coronal plane, you have to plan for axial and sagittal plane, and if you want the image for axial plane, you have to do the planning for Y and X, that is sagittal and coronal plane. So all these informations will be given with the help of, so we have to apply the formula like A plus B is equal to C. So once you plan X and Y, you will get the information of Z. So next thing is shim coil. As I have said you earlier, it is mainly to maintain the inhomogeneity of the magnetic field, because there are a lot of noises, low signals, high signals. So whatever signals are coming, the shim coil will minimize it and give you an uniform signal, means an uniform exact what signal you need. No small signal, no low signal, sorry, no high signal, no low signal. So there are, what are the three grades? They're giving you X, Y, Z. Suppose that is having low signal, so once it reaches the shim coil, all the signals will be equalized and it will be sent to your RF coil. And next is the RF coil, that is the main coil which is responsible for our image formation, and it depends on mainly SNR, signal to noise ratio, how much signal you are sending, how much you are receiving. All these things will be decided with the help of RF coil, and they are mainly responsible for what? Transmitting the signal, to transmit your signal and to receive the signals. And this signals are converting the these signals sorry these coils are mainly used to convert the signals whatever you are getting into the computer and to create your final MR image. So one thing you have to keep in mind, higher the signal, better will be the resolution, and there will be clear view of the pathology. Whereas if the SNR is low, you will get a grainy appearance on the signal, and there will be little bit of blurring also. So when you are talking about the RF coil, it has three general categories. One is transmitting coil, that is it will only transmit the signal. One is receiver coil, it will only receive the signal. Another one is transceiver coil, which is going to do both the work, transmit as well as receive. Next is our RF coils are of three types. One is volume coil, another one is surface coil, and the one is phased array coil. Though phased array coils are part of our surface coil also. So you can see this is the volume coil, this is the surface coil, and this is the phased array coil. So moving towards volume coil, what will happen is they will be designed to produce homogeneous RF excitation across a large volume area, means you can scan a larger part of the area with the help of volume coil, and they are mainly suitable for full body imaging. Okay, next thing is the magnetic field homogeneous volume coils are better than the surface coil, as larger area of coverages are there, more informations you can get in a short time, whereas larger volume coils will only be a type of transmitting as well as receiving signals. And these coils are having two parts, one is small portion, another one is the larger portion. The larger portion of the coil will act as a transmitting portion, which will transmit the signals, and the smaller portion of the coil will give you the receiving signals. Next, see, this is the type of volume coil, so it is larger in diameter, it has more area coverage, but it has more field homogeneity, but SNR of this coil is low, so it will get little bit low quality of image. So the types of volume coils will be like head coil, neck coil, we have quadrate coil, birdcage coil, crossed coil, Helmholtz coil, paired saddle coil, that is the Memo coil, and single turn solenoid coil. Next is surface coil. So by the name you can understand surface, so it will be where it will be placed, it will be placed in contact to the surface, and these coils are somewhat simple in design compared to our volume coil. Also surface coils are light and volume coils will be heavier. So these coils will be basically a circular ring of wear or rectangular shape, and these coils are mainly placed in near to the region of the body, whereas volume coils are not placed in direct contact to the body, whereas surface coils you can place it in contact to the body. These coils will have increased magnetic sensitivity, and these coils belong to a type of receiver coil, only they will receive signal, they cannot transmit the signals. Next thing is these coils have greater SNR, signal to noise ratio, so image quality will be far more better compared to our volume coil. Why? Because they are placed near to the body, so they will receive the signals more easily compared to our volume coil. In volume coil what happens, some of the signals are getting wastage because entire volume you're covering, right? So in that some portion are wide and some portion are narrowing. Okay, next thing is surface coils are mainly used for spine studies, shoulder, joint, abdominal study, chest, thoracic study, and also for the smaller parts of the body. So differentiating between the volume coil and surface coil is based on its appearance. Volume coils are bulkier, surface coils are simple or smaller. Next is volume coils are heavier, surface coils are lighter in weight. Volume coils have more field homogeneity, surface coil has less field homogeneity. Volume coils cannot be placed in contact to the area, surface coils can be kept in contact to the area. Volume coil has less SNR, surface coil has more SNR. Image quality will be more far better in surface coil rather than volume coil. Okay, next thing is what are the common types of surface coil. Array coil we have body wrap coil, so these are the types of coil which you can wrap around the body, so they are body wrap coil. Linear polarized coil like shoulder coils we have, and saddle coils. Next thing is phase array coil. It is nothing but phased array. So array means it has a combination of multiple coils. Okay, so you're going to connect not only one coil but more than one coil. Like we have neurovascular coil. We have neurovascular coil means it in that coil you will have three coil attachment, one for cervical portion, one for dorsal, another for the lumbar portion. So at a time these three coils will be placed and it will be connected to one another. So what is this phase area coil? These coils are benefit for smaller coils with high SNR, and benefit is you can increase the field size, larger fields. As I said, neurovascular array coil can do the scan for cervical area, thoracic area, and lumbar area, means you're covering now a larger area by connecting small phased array coil. Moreover, these coils are used for various purposes, like you can use for continuous study of whole body MRI, whole spine MRI. Even nowadays our patient couch is working as a coil, and that coil is called as DNS coil, dorso neurovascular survey coil. Okay. Next thing is this is a, you have to keep in mind is in MRI we have what three types of coil. First coil is the gradient coil, who sends you all the signals, electronic signals and electromagnetic signals. Next is whatever signals are coming, it should be uniform before reaching you or before reaching to the host computer, and that thing is done by the shim coil. So gradient coil and shim coil are the main part of our MRI coil, and where they are placed? They are placed only inside the board of magnet. Next thing we have is the RF coil. These coils are placed both inside and outside of the uh, magnetic board or magnetic field, and the thing is RF coils will be always placed near to the patient, whereas gradient coil will be placed near to the magnetic field. Is it clear to you? RF coil will be placed near to the patient, so it will be from down first, and gradient coil will be placed near to the magnet, so from up it will be first. Okay, so if you are going from inside to outside, what you will say is first we will place the RF coil, next we place the shim coil, next we place the gradient coil. So whatever signals are coming, it is going received by the RF coil. Any low signals are there or high signal, all signals are uniform by shim coil, and finally it is given to the gradient coil, and gradient coil is sending all the information to the image. Next, if it is a transmitting signal, gradient coil will first transmit the signal, then all the low and high signals will be shim by the shim coil, and then it will come to the receiver coil, RF coil, and you will get the uniform signal entire body part. Now again, RF coils are not only the external RF coils only which we place in contact to the area, also our patient couch, see here, will also act as an RF coil. Okay, next we will discuss about the various types of coils. So we see we have head coil for brain, we have neck coil for cervical area, we have shoulder coils for the study of shoulder, and this is a type of phased array coil. Next we have knee coil for study of the knee area, and this is a type of volume coil. We have wrist coil, and this is a type of volume as well as surface coils are there. We have body flex coils. Okay, so these are the body flex coils. We have phased array coil like head and neck coil, means more than two coils will be connected here. Next we have small body coils. We have coil for TM joint, we have breast coil. So these are all the various types of coils. Okay, so now we will remind our topic. These are the connectors of various MRI coil. This is the 5 channel connector, this is 16 channel connector, this is 32 channel connector, and this is the 8 channel connector. So when you are connecting any of the MRI coils, keep in mind that you are connecting them in exact port, otherwise the pin will break down, and if the pin breakdowns, it will be a damage of full coil. It will not give any signal, and that will be lost for you and your company too. So you can see here, these are the various types of head coils, and they are type of volume coil, and they have larger surface area coverage, and they are mainly used for the purpose of MRI brain studies. So next, these are the types of mammography coil, and they are the type of saddle type of coil, and they are also a category of volume coil. And this mammography coils are mainly used for the study of MRI mammogram, and in this study only the patient will be placed in prone position. These are the shoulder coils, and this is used for the study of shoulder, and they are the type of phased array coil. These are the MRI knee coil, and they are type of volume coil, and they are mainly used for the MRI knee studies. So these are the MRI wrist coil, and they are type of phased array as well as volume array, but to get a better image quality we prefer the phased array one, and this is the volume type one. These are the foot coils. This is used for MRI foot, and it's a type of volume coil. This is the neurovascular array coil, and this is a spine coil for spinal studies. This is the body flex coil used for MRCP abdomen study. It has two types, both anterior coil and posterior coil. So when we are doing the study, we have to place both the anterior and posterior coil, and this is the image of whole body MRI. So we have to place all the coils when you are getting MRI thoracic as well as MRI abdomen. So thoracic and abdomen collectively you have to use all this coil, and additionally for whole body you have to place in the coils like this. So these are the neurovascular array coils. Here more than two coils are connected, and the coils types are phased array type and we are increasing the larger area coverage with this type of coils. Even the patient couch is now a type of MRI coil. Here we can do whole spine MRI as well as lumbar spine MRI with the help of this patient couch. No need to place the coil because the coil is always placed inside the patient couch. So this is the MRI coil card. Here we place the coils before and after use, and always keep in mind that the coil should be placed in the cart itself after use, and they should not be left in the room like anywhere, because minor damage in the coil there will be a loss of signal. So arrange the coils like this in the cart. And last thing you have to keep in mind is when you are placing the coils, it should not be connected to the patient body, otherwise there will be an heating effect, which we have already discussed in our MRI safety topic. You can browse and see below. So that was all about our MRI coil topic. We have three types: gradient coil, shim coil and RF coil. Gradient coil is the main coil, shim coil makes the field homogeneity, and RF coil is to transmit and receive the signal. It is placed both inside as well as it is acts as a body coil too. So if you have liked our session, please do like, subscribe and share it to your nearest and dearest persons of radiology.